live chat。
係喎，我哋等陣要等下人先。
我哋等唔到人嗰度，我哋要等呢度。Hi, hopefully someone is there watching us. We are using a new apps here, thanks to the recommendation of Kong Yu. But 完全係冇用過呢個 app，所以有少少。
唔係我太耐冇做呢個 live 咗，所以有啲緊張啊。
有少緊張。我哋幾時做咗到而家？
如果我睇翻嘅話係6月、6、7月。你睇下邊個先 ？Mitra is always the first.
Hi Mitra, she's really fast.
Mitra 你有冇好掛住我哋啊
？Hello. Yeah, unfortunately, Stephanie. Okay, unfortunately, tonight Hui Yi can't make it because she has a last-minute appointment going on.
Correct,
right?
correct.
So today we have to do it just the two of us.
Okay. 所以都好多人冇忘記我哋啊。
Hi. All right, long time no see you. Oh, Nobito. Hi, thank you for tuning in. And of course, those of you who have actually read the post that I've shared last week, last Thursday on Thanksgiving, in fact, right? Okay, about tonight's topic is we are back tonight to actually go back and reflect on the year 2018. I know some of you might have mistakenly read the post itself because I saw even Alvin was sharing that. Like sharing my post and say, yeah, very excited to look forward to know more about 2019. Now, tonight's topic is not about 2019, all right? Tonight's topic is about 2018, reflection on that. For those of you who have forgotten, what are the lessons or the things that you might need to focus on in 2018? So tonight we will recap that.
係啦，因為咧，其實好多人咧，我哋日日都講展望啊，就係哇，我想知道2019到底會發生啲咩事，但係好多人都忘記咗，其實我哋愛做一個 recap，就係睇我哋2018啦，因為依家都係11月㗎啦，都已經11月尾，咁我哋應該咧仲有大概34日就到2019年㗎啦，
係，
所以其實好快嘅，我哋都要知道一下咧，
有人靠
係啦，唔係因為我 count 緊嘅 Christmas 我哋要去邊度啊？因為咧，其實我哋需要咧就知道到底我哋響2018咧有冇做好自己啦，先去展望到2019再睇下我有啲咩我做嘅。所以一定我做一個 recap， 呢個係最重要嘅嘢嚟。
Yeah, because we already said, okay, I know a lot of people are very eager looking forward to 2019 for whatsoever reason. Either you are trying to take a flight out of 2018 as in like, okay, I'm tired of 2018, I've enough. Hopefully 2019 will be a better year for me. So the thing is, I'm going to share with you here, if you have not found your clarity in 2018, you have not found yourself this year itself, 2019 might not be that easy for you as well. Because every year itself, it depends on what are the things that we have put in the effort to actually work on ourselves. If we actually put in the effort on every year, there are different lessons for us to learn, different focus that we need to focus on in order for us to grow and to expand ourselves to be better. But let's say if we don't work on that itself, right, every time the new year comes, will just be another repeat of the same old thing that you've been doing.
OK，咁每一年咧，或者係每一年咧，我哋都會有一啲 lesson 去學嘅。就好似師傅話嘅，如果我哋冇去學呢個 lesson 嘅話咧，咁佢呢個嘢呢個 template 咧就會一直咁樣重複㗎啦。咁我哋冇學到咧。咁咩時候咧？咁我哋所以我哋一定要睇下我哋響2018年到底有啲咩係未做到嘅。
Okay, in case those of you who have actually attended my early 2018 astrology talk, you have already know what are the lessons that you need to focus on. But probably some of you, right? Okay, like by now you have totally forgotten what have been shared earlier this year. So that's the reason of this recap itself is for you to get yourself reminded of what are the lessons, what are the clarity that you need to seek in terms of your personal goal, achievement, and also in terms of your career or your business outlook for the year in 2019. What exactly are the things that you should be focusing into and you should be learning in order for you to get yourself ready so that you have an even more abundance 2019.
啱啦，所以我哋今年咧，我哋嘅 topic 就係 looking back。Moving forward， so 最重要就係喺呢個 looking back 嘅呢個 topic 入邊。
睇下樣先，咁 make sure 一定要睇到Cole 嘅樣嘅喺嗰度。Yeah, okay. So now we are actually using this app itself because there are some slides or some information that we want to share with you. And by using this itself, right, probably it will crop and sometimes you might not be able to see us. I'm sure, right? Okay, most of you here is like your how come 喐咗嘅？Okay, I'm sure like maybe for some of you here is like your utmost intention is not about looking at us, it's about looking at the information that we'll be sharing with you tonight. So always remember is like, okay, before we even start on it, make sure that you have your party chart printed out. And of course, I would love to, if this session, if we have time, it will be good for us to actually, if you are willing and open to share your party chart with us, please do so, because at the end of the session itself, right, we'll have a quick reading into your own personal party chart, focusing only on the lessons or the test or whatever focus that you need to learn, the clarity that you need to get for 2018 itself in order for you to prep yourself and prepare yourself for the upcoming year.
係啦，咁年頭嘅時候咧，師傅就已經 share 咗每一個人咩金木水火土啦，唔同嘅元素咧會需要學習啲咩嘢嘅。咁我哋依家咧就嚟去 remind 一下，或者係我哋 recall 一下，睇下自己本身咧有冇學習到呢啲嘢㗎咯喎。
Yeah, okay. Of course, without further ado itself, right? Now, before we even look into your chart itself, the first thing is like there's a questions that you need to ask yourself. It's very important for you to actually ask yourself these questions, as in, where are you currently? Right? Where are you standing? Because a lot of times, right, we keep on asking, oh, like, where we want to be, what I want to be, I want to find my life purpose, how I want to see myself in the future. But before you even ask that questions, right, okay, ask yourself, where are you now? Which group do you belong to? And of course, the next particular information that we're going to share with you, the slides there is, like, it's a graph that we're going to sharing about like where exactly are you, okay? So the thing is, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So this is the question that you might want to ask yourself, okay? As in like, where are you located now? There are like different categories here. There are like high, average, low, all right? So where are you located in this diagram, okay? So are you at the higher level? If you're at higher level means, right, naturally, your sort of mentality is like you are more of a visionary, okay? You are always the type of person that take action into things, okay? You are also the type of person with divergent thinking. It's always about like solving problems, okay? There's always possibilities of resolve an issue to a win-win-win situations. Of course, you also have the mentality of thinking I'm possible rather than impossible all the time. Now, briefly talking about like in the middle of the equation itself. Now, middle itself, you will see that you're the type of person that always seeks security. You want comfort zone, you are at your comfort level, and you live at the effect of things, cause and effect, okay? The cause and effect means if you're at a higher level, you are inspired, you're full of energy, you're full of fire energy that you always take action before waiting for reaction. But let's say if you're in middle cycle itself, right, you are constantly living in an effect. Means like taking reaction sort of things. Means after the economy have slumped down, then only you consider, okay, what should I do now? Okay?
So basically it's more on like a comfort zone 咁樣嘅。
Yeah, comfort zone 嘅係啦 okay? No growth, living in like lack rather than abundance, okay? It's always lacking, like meeting, like making ends meet. That sort of like a situation. Of course, the lowest part of it will be a complainer, a blamer, that you feel entitled, like everyone owes something to you, right? You always feel that everything is against you. You feel bullied. You feel that it's not fair. You victimize yourself. You have scarcity mentality. It means that if other people is doing good, means that you naturally can't be well, okay? And also you always find that it is impossible before even trying to do so.
OK， 咁其實咧就好似師傅話㗎啦，如果我哋想知道我哋愛點樣去行前嘅話咧，咁我哋愛知道自己依家喺咩位置喎，係啦，所係咩位置㗎啦喎。咁師傅頭先就有提到啦，我哋會係3個唔同嘅位置啦。第一個咧就係 high level，咁 high level 咧就係話我哋響一個 aware 我哋自己響咩狀況啦。同埋我哋係take action 嘅，我哋知道我哋展望我哋將來或者我哋嘅 vision 係乜嘢，我嘅 goal 係乜嘢，係非常之清楚嘅。咁第二個咧就係佢會 take action， 意思話佢如果諗咗一個諗法之後咧，佢就會開始去做㗎啦，行動係行動啦，同埋咧佢都會知道咧係一個佢自己本身咧係日日都提醒自己。I am possible 係啦，係好多嘢咧都會俾自己一個positive 嘅一個thinking，就係話我可以嘅，我可以做到嘅。咁如果你喺第二個 zone 咧 ，which is average 嘅 zone 咧，意思話呢啲咧通常咧都係喺一個比較 comfort zone 嘅一個位置啦。譬如話好似嘢嚟咗之後，我先去解決啦。反應係啦，我先去反應係啦。意思話唔會去 take effort 或者係initiative 去做呢樣嘢嘅，唔會去再 多做少少嘅。咁通常呢啲咧都係人哋踢一腳你先行一步。
係啦，老細叫到咪做咯，老細冇叫就暫時睇唔到咯。
So 最尾一個 category 咧就係一個 low category 啦。咁呢種咧同 high category 咧係通常都係相反嘅。譬如話好似咧乜嘢咧都係 negative thinking 嘅。譬如好似人哋同你講，不如我哋一齊去爬山咯。哎呀，唔去啦，爬山好攰㗎啦，係啦，又攰啦，腳又痛啦，
身又重啦，
係啦，咁又或者係你講緊自己係嘛？
我曾經何時都有爬山嘅。
咁又或者係人哋人哋一suggest 去咩嘅話，佢都會俾一啲 negative 嘅一啲咩啦。
頭一個反應就係 negative 先，
係啦，
震嘅。
係啦，佢俾個 hint 我哋啦。咁第二個咧就係佢乜嘢都唔得嘅。就係anything also impossible 啦，同埋好冇安全係啦，好冇安全感啦，乜嘢都做唔到啦，同埋日日咧都會覺得自己係受害者。呢個咧係一個好low 嘅 category 入邊最特別嘅一個特徵啦，就係佢會覺得都係人哋嘅錯，我係被受害嘅。所以呢啲嘢咧就冇將呢個成個 energy 咧攞翻嚟，自己 control 翻嘅 situations 嘅。
So even on a brief, right? Okay, because we are trying to squeeze all this information into just like hopefully just a 1 hour session. So of course by doing that itself, right? Okay, 呢個 click 落去所以可以睇到佢哋嘅 latest. Okay. So it's like let's say by doing that itself, right, we need to actually like make it as fast as possible for us to really like go through all the information for you. So the first thing is it will be good for you to actually focus on in terms of like where are you? Ask yourself the questions. Which category do you belong to? Okay, the things that we have just shared with you now, like which other category do you actually belong to out of the 3 categories? Okay, that's the one thing that you should be asking yourself, because if you're on the highest level, right, the thing is almost every year will be easier for you. Things will be much easier because you're proactive. Let's say if you're on the lower realm itself, right, on the lowest level itself, now the chances is that you always find that every year gives you difficulty. You find that things just are not smooth, things are difficult for you to actually progress on and stuff like that.
係啦，所以咧今日咧，如果我哋真係愛知道自己本身有啲咩問題嘅話咧，咁你就真係愛對自己好誠實啦。譬如話你自己真係去 recall 翻，你睇下自己咧係響乜嘢 category 入邊嘅。咁如果你真係誠實嘅話咧，唔該響下邊咧就留個 comment 同我講，你自己覺得你自己依家係響咩 category？
可能有啲唔好意思講。
唔好意思啊，咁你就講我個朋友。依家係咩 category?
But I'm sure, right? Okay, a lot of you have actually seen people who always actually live in that like victimized mentality. They always feel that okay, everyone owes them something, that they are entitled to things. Alright, like you are so and so. You are my boss. You are my friend. You are my partner. You are my family. I'm entitled to it. You have to do this sort of things to me. Correct. So when the entitlement comes in, is when they always victimize themselves, and when people don't give it to them, they feel bullied. They feel betrayed. Okay, so these are the things that always like makes them going back into that loop of like finding life or luck itself is just not smooth for them, and they have a lot of issues going on probably with the people around them at the same time. Alright.
其實我哋好多都係講啦，如果你真係愛向前行嘅話咧，你一定要睇翻go inner self， 去睇翻自己到底咩錯誤，或者係到底我做錯咗啲咩嘢，而去改正呢樣嘢嘅。Okay, so 今日咧我哋就會去 through 用八字嘅方法去睇呢樣嘢㗎啦。
So today itself, of course, we're going to focus on your own personal Bazi to see, right, okay, what are the things that you need to actually focus on in order to find that clarity. Alright, what are the clarity that you need to focus on, right, okay, in order for you to actually get yourself ready so that when 2019 comes about, right, you will be ready to actually hop on to the new energy of the year itself, okay, to make it like better and even like greater. Okay, so now is of course the first thing is, before we even look into a personal Bazi, let's look at the Bazi of 2018 first. Now for those of you who've attended my talk, right, okay, you have actually known that on February 4th, 2018 itself, early in the morning about 5:28 a.m, that's exactly the time of what we call the coming of spring for 2018. So when we plotted out the chart, it looks something like this.
Okay, 所以意思話嗰日咧就係一個丁卯年係嘛？啱啦，係。
丁卯日, okay?
丁卯日.
Alright, so when you look at the chart, of course, like some of you who are like not so very in-depth knowledge into like Chinese astrology or Bazi, you will find that this may look a bit like, alien to you. It's like, oh, what is this? All I see is this Chinese characteristics in like color boxes. But of course, we summarize this. Overall, 2018, for those of you, right, okay, you see that small little fire element, means the red box itself, right, represents fire in the whole entire year. You see that there are a lot of resources, a lot of wood surrounding it, but the fire is like a small little candle lit fire, which is very, very weak in a deep forest, right in the middle of the like early morning where it's dark and misty. Okay, so in order for you to actually have a better image of it, right, okay, you will look into the next slide that we have actually prepared for you. Now, by looking at this, right, you will be able to see that, okay, now this will be the image of 2018. For those of you, it is dark. Alright, it is like misty, you can't really see far. So a lot of people find that 2018 will be a very fearful year. Fearful is just because that you can't see the path ahead of you. You can't be in control, you cannot be sure. So those of you who live in comfort zone, remember just now earlier on we said that the average zone itself is a comfort zone. So people who live in comfort zone will find that this year itself, you'll find that you are reluctant to move anywhere because you can't see things, you don't feel comfortable moving ahead, right? You can't really see your path clearly. Now, unless this year itself you know exactly what is your clarity, what are the things you need to achieve or you want to achieve, your clarity in life, your purpose, what are the things you need to work on. Okay, for some of you who are still thinking about, oh, should I be working or should I be like doing a business on my own? All right, should I be a desk-bound job or should I have a work that go out or frontline meeting up with people? If you still have these doubts, okay, or should I actually go out with this guy or should I actually wait and like see any other potentials? Whenever you have these doubts itself, it means that you have no clarity. So it is a time for you to ask yourself, what exactly do you want at the end of the day? Right? Because if you can't get this answer, your chart or your path will forever look like this.
啱啦，咁就好似師傅頭先有提到㗎啦，響我哋年初嘅時候咧，就係年頭嘅時候咧，我哋都有share 到就係話今年嘅2018年嘅呢個八字咧，就好似一座山咧，入邊有好多好多樹林嘅，好多樹嘅，然之後咧就好似響一個差唔多要好暗嘅地方嘅時候咧，有一盞好細盞嘅燈。OK， 呢個咧就係2018年成個嘅嗰個 image 嚟嘅一個佢嘅圖案，係啦，大嘅運程嚟嘅。咁如果咧就好似我哋頭先提到嘅，如果你響今年2018年咧 until now 咧，你都有一種覺得，哎呀，我唔知道自己要去咩響咩方向啦，我要去咩地方啦，或者係我嘅人生到底嘅方向係去邊度啦，咁就意思話咧，你可能係 drop 響咗呢個 average 嘅呢個 zone 入邊啦。因為咧，如果你係響 high 嘅呢個 zone 入邊咧，就通常你都知道自己去咩地方，你嘅嗰個所有嘅目標係好清晰嘅。係啦。OK， 所以依家咧就要問翻你自己，到底係響乜嘢 zone 㗎啦喎？啱啦。
So now that just now the image itself, right, is portraying for someone who has not found their clarity, means their inner fire. They are not sure is like what exactly is like, is this relationship the right one for me? Is this career the right one for me? Is this job the right one for me? All right. So if you still have that doubt in you, the whole entire year itself, it will be in that darkness. So you can't really see it very clearly. But unless for those of you who have found your clarity, you know exactly what you need to work on, exactly what you want to pursue in life, then the chart itself for 2018 will be totally different. Okay, and that is actually the next slide that we want to share with you. Okay, so 你可以撳嗰個 next slide. Okay. 好啦。So if you see that for those of you who have found your inner clarity, 2018 will look something like this for you.
Okay, so 呢個就係 high zone 嘅嗰個人啦。
Yes, alright. It means that no matter how dark it is in the external environment, the internal light that is burning inside us is clear and it is strong. It's like a candle inside us. The how to say the ignition of that fire inside us is very clear. We know our path or what exactly that we want to achieve on. Okay, so we need to get onto this particular state of mind. Okay, so the whole 2018 is about getting ourselves into this state of mind. It means early of the year you can have these doubts and questions that you question yourself, but you cannot have the same questions that you keep questioning yourself early of the year now at the end of the year. Because the new year is coming.
因為我哋依家仲剩翻大概1個月嘅時間啫喎。
都唔係嘅，actually we have slightly more than 1個月，其實有2個幾月嘅。Okay, you still have about like 2 months more because we have to wait until the next coming of spring. So in this particular 2 months or 2 months plus, okay, what can you do or how can you actually find that clarity that you want to seek in yourself? Because it's like the people who have found this, when you are ready that by the end of this year itself in 2018, when you find that your path is lit up like this, you are ready for 2019. And I want to tell you as like 2019, of course, later on when we do a Facebook Live or during my annual astrology talk, 2019 will be a very, very good year. It is filled with opportunities. It is filled with a lot of like, potentials of growth and of course of like making it, okay, in life itself. But the thing is, are we ready?
啱啦，就好似師傅頭先講嘅，我哋2019年咧，其實係一個非常多機會嘅一個年份嚟嘅。但係如果咧，咁我哋連自己咧都冇辦法知道我哋自己要啲咩嘢嘅時候咧，可能呢啲機會咧就冇辦法落到我哋嘅手上㗎啦。所以呢個 section 咧就係愛嚟。我哋叫補貨啊，意思係響快脆響呢2個月入邊咧，因為未到立春，
係啦，盡快啦，快馬加鞭，加油！
去諗自己到底真正要嘅嘢係咩嘢嚟嘅。
Alright, so in order to look into that, of course, you need your Bazi chart. And for those of you who have not plotted out your Bazi chart, you can go to my website, www.soleiltrinity.com. Okay, when you go into that, there is an upper left corner that actually written there as plot Bazi. Okay, you just click onto that. Fill in your information, screenshot your chart. There are a few things that we want to focus on. Just focus on the Bazi, the day master itself, okay? All right, now when you plot out, right, okay, your Bazi, this is a screenshot of the page that you might see on my website. Then the next one will be the sample chart that you will get. Now, this is a sample chart that you will see. Once you have plotted out, right, on the free software, you will get to see a chart like this. All right. Now I want you to actually focus on the day that you were born. So you can see on the upper you see a year, a month, a day, and an hour. So on the day itself, right? Okay, upper part you will see there's a sun or a ping fire. Now this is a sample chart. When you look at the chart, you might see different element. Now for those of you who has the professional copy itself, your chart will actually look something like this. Okay, it's the same chart, but it's just different version. This is a paid version. Okay, so it's the same thing. You look at the day itself. On the day itself now, this is an example that we have highlighted. All right, so when you look at the day, on the upper part of the day itself is written there either a fire element or a water element or an earth element or a wood element, depending on your own personal chart. Okay, so you have to get your chart plotted out now. Find out what is your day master. Okay, and then the next information that we're going to share with you is based on your day master itself. What are the things that you need to be focusing on in terms of like 2018 in order for you to actually find that clarity? And now I call this your personal lessons and yearly focus.
啱啦。So 因為咧頭先我哋就講到啦，咁我哋知道喺呢2個月入邊嘅話咧，我哋需要做啲乜嘢嘢？咁我哋師傅咧等陣就會喺我哋嘅八字入邊咧就會同你講，如果你係屬火嘅話，你需要做啲咩嘢？咁如果你係屬水嘅話咧，咁你又可以做啲咩嘢嚟快馬加鞭嘅揾到你嘅目標？係啦，即係學習啲咩嘢？What are the things that you need to learn? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? In order to narrow down that, hopefully the chances is you will eventually find the things that you enjoy most or the passionate most into doing. But the first thing is you have to discard the fear that you have in you. Correct.
All right. So because once we are still, remember, you are in that 3 levels of the equation. Where are you? If you're at the lower level where you have a lot of fear, you always think that it's negative, it's always impossible, you're entitled to things, I can tell you, no matter how many astrological talks that you go to, or no matter how many practitioners that you follow, you will never change. Because the first thing is we must make sure that we have the right mindset and the right mentality.
啱啦，因為咧條路係你自己行出嚟噶嘛，咁人哋唔可以幫你行噶嘛。譬如話好似師傅日日喺你面前講嘅話，唔會講到你去嗰個目的地嘅。係啦，所以都係你自己一步一步咁樣去行出嚟。咁你自己要行咩路咧？咁就要自己選擇噶咯。咁師傅咧，淨係可以俾你知道，呢個路咧係可能係你可以 一個 guidance 嚟嘅
based on the
係啦
calculation. So whatever it is, right? Okay, here we base on the calculation here. Then we'll see that okay, the personal lessons and the yearly focus. Okay, we put it into the 5 different day master. The 5 different elements. Let's say to make it because it's like we are now targeting is like a lot of you are watching. Okay, so we cannot go as like personalized or narrow down as personalized as possible. We try to narrow it down and like put it into like the different categories as much as possible.
嘅五行啦。
Yeah, so later on, if you feel that you are okay to share your party chart in the comments below, screenshot it, share it with us. So when we look at it, we can actually roughly tell you what are the things that you will foresee in 2018, what sort of like career or industries, what are the things you need to work on, okay, in order for you to achieve or to get like a clearer picture in your life itself. Especially what I want to tell you is what are the things that's holding you back. That's very important because like whenever you see something, right, you see, okay, this is what I want to get, this is what I want to get to, this is what I want to be. But the thing is, if we don't get rid of the thing that is holding us back, it is almost impossible for us to move forward. So I want to actually look into your chart so that Cole and I, both of us, Cole will also know how to look into your chart, and we want to identify what are exactly the things that is holding you back so that you find that it is difficult for you to actually progress forward.
我係水嘅，我係水嘅。
係，我都係水嘅。Okay, all right. So of course, when we look into the next slides itself, right? Okay, you'll be able to see that. Right now, the focus of the different elements for 2018. Okay, if you look at this, right? Okay, generally you'll be able to see you are in the wood or the water, fire, metal, or the earth element. Okay, so when you look at this, right? Okay, let's say, all right, if you find that your day master, okay, if you find that your day master is under earth element or under water element, there are different things for you to focus on. There are different personal lessons for you to learn in this year, in 2018. Now, let's say if you are water, 講水嘅先啦。我哋兩個都係水嘅 ，okay? Alright. So for those of you who are water element person, okay? So if you find that you're a water element person, probably 我哋 keep 住呢度都得，我睇我哋個樣都得。我哋放 next one 可以睇樣嘅。Okay, water element. Okay, so if you find that you're a water element person, okay, now the things or the focus or the lessons that you need to focus on is career advancement and also discipline.
啱啦，因為咧水嘅人咧係最冇 discipline 嘅，因為我哋咩地方漏到去咩地咩，我哋倒咩地方咧就會漏咩地方噶啦，啱啦，或者係放個水咧放喺咩杯咧就會變成咩形狀嘅，所以咧通常呢個咧就係我哋今年2018年咧需要去focus 嘅一樣嘢啦，就係 discipline 啦，特別係喺 career 上邊嘅一個 discipline。
Okay, so let's say if you find that you're a water person, so for this year in 2018, right? Okay, the questions you have to ask yourself. Early this year to now, we're already in end of November. What have been the career advancements that we have made in our life? What are the new achievements? What are the things that you've been doing differently? What are the new things that you have learned in terms of your career or your business? All right, so these are the things that you need to be focusing on. But if you find that the answer is like, it's pretty much the same. All right, I've been doing the same job that I've been doing for the past 10 years, doing the same thing that I've been doing for the past 10 years. It means that in terms of your career, you have not made any advancements. Okay, you have not grown, right, into a new level. So if you continue on doing this, right, this year itself, basically you have just wasted a year without achieving anything. Okay, now how to actually achieve career advancements? It's either in terms of your like either promotions in terms of your current career. Okay, now don't tell me because of the economy is no good or whatsoever, you get no promotion or it's difficult to get promotions. Now, that one belongs to the lowest level of mentality. It's impossible. Okay? So always remember, if you're at the highest level of the mentality, right, there's no such thing as economy no good means no promotion. Do you know that there are a lot of people getting promoted out there? There are loads and loads of people getting promoted out there. There are loads of people starting new startups, new business, new achievements. Right? There are new billionaires in the making or millionaire in the making every year, regardless of whether the economy is good or not. So what are the reasons that you give yourself that your career has not been advancing for the past 1 year?
Because 好多人都講啦，once 個 economy is bad means it's also more opportunity for you to 去發掘更多嘅嗰啲生意啦。
Exactly, but a lot of times, right, through social media, through news, and through like easily accessible social media nowadays, right, Facebook becomes a news portal. Right, most of the time, right, okay, a lot of people actually watch news on Facebook rather than on like actual mainstream media itself. All right, not to say whose news or whatever is true or whatever, but the thing is, all this information sometimes can actually like decapitalize us. It makes us like handicapped. It makes us more fearful. All right, to actually look into all this like information.
因為我自己覺得咧，譬如話好似
我哋俾翻個樣佢哋睇下先。係啦，
譬如話好似咧，
可能瞓咗覺。
譬如話好似咧，頭先師傅都有講到啦，好多人咧會 complain 就係話呢個依家嘅經濟好差啦，咁我冇辦法升職啦，或者冇辦法加薪啦。咁其實好多時候咧，我哋都要問翻我哋自己嘅喎。咁我哋自己嘅 value 喺邊度咧？如果譬如話依間公司佢唔升我職或者係唔加我薪咧，咁我可唔可以出去揾咧？或者係我跳槽去其他嘅地方咧？啱啦，呢個咧可能都係我哋自己因為我哋自己嘅 fear 而唔敢去做呢樣嘢。如果我自己本身覺得我個 value 係好好嘅，係啦，就算我唔要呢間公司，佢唔加我薪都冇所謂，因為我都
其他人一定等緊你嘅。
啱啦。
OK， 有勵志嘅。Okay， okay. So really, because if you're really good, right, disregard whatever you're trying to tell yourself or pacify yourself or victimize ourselves. Okay, if you're really good, there will be a demand. Okay, when there are no demand means there's something that we need to work on ourselves. Okay, right, it can be a hard truth. It can be like, ouch, okay? It can be painful to listen to this, but that's the exact truth. So if you're water element, what has you been like, what have you achieved in terms of your career advancement? What are new achievements? What are new things, okay? When you look into your own personal account itself, okay, what are the, the new heights that you have actually achieved for yourself? And of course, the next point is for all Water Day Masters out there, all right, one of the personal lessons that we have to learn this year is discipline, okay? Confession time, I failed.
OK， 呢個我明，呢個我知。我頭先都係同師傅講咧，我都係有 discipline 嘅 problem 嘅。OK，career advancement OK 啦，我都 OK 慢慢都做到啦。但係 discipline 咧，咁你知道啦，有時候我哋都會懶㗎啦，想休息下啦，唔做運動啦。
藉口嚟嘅，自己知嘅。OK，I know it's an excuse, I know it's a reason I give myself, but I just don't feel like it. All right. Now, but then the thing is, we need to take like the responsibility into whatever decisions or the actions or inactions that we have taken in life.
Correct.
All right. I always say it's either we actually suffer, okay, we suffer from discipline, or we actually suffer the consequences of it.
Correct.
Okay. So if we actually suffer from discipline itself, means right, the chances of suffering from consequences of it will be much lesser. Okay.
OK，so 我頭先有諗到咧，譬如話好似因為你講 career advancement 係嘛？咁學習，譬如話好似我知道我喺呢個 career 入邊咧，我自己去 take 一啲 course 或者係我想喺呢樣嘢，譬如話我唔識寫嘢嘅，或者我講嘢唔好嘅，咁我就去上一啲咩 communication class 咁樣，都算唔算係一個
？Definitely. Anything, as Wai Lun was saying, right, career advancements, like can you actually take up the initiative to take action to like learn something new? Anything that you think will be able to help the career that you're in. If you find that you're not very good into presentation, can you learn it? Yes, definitely. All right. If you're not very good in terms of like writing, can you learn it? Yes. Especially if it is something that your career needs you to do.
Okay. 所以依家仲有2個月嘅時間，
快
啲去諗下自己有啲咩係可以進步嘅喺 career 嘅話。
Okay, so you have 2 months and you have a water element. Ask yourself from what aspect in terms of your career that you can actually advance. What are the new things that you can learn? All right. If you have not learned anything new, the next day is tomorrow. Go to your office and talk to your boss and tell him or her, give me new challenge.
Okay.
Give me to handle new challenge. Give me new things to do. All right. I want to actually learn it because only when you are exposed to new environment, new challenge, new things, then only you can actually learn new things.
Okay. And also conquer the fear. 就係你可以去 challenge 自己咧，去對抗你最驚嘅一啲嘢。
Yeah. Remember the second tier of where are you just now is like
comfort zone.
Right? You are forever in your comfort zone means nothing is growing. You have to actually sprout out, break through from that. So ask for it. Don't wait for people to come. Remember, living in cause or living in effect. Means you wait for things to happen, then you take reaction, or you want to be the person who initiate things to happen.
所以我自己爬上嗰個 high level 嘅話咧，就我同自己講。Everything is possible.
Yeah, really go and ask your superiors, ask your boss or whatsoever. What are the new things that I can actually challenge myself to do? Okay, and make sure you can cope with it.
Okay.
All right, so that will be the task for like water people.
Okay.
And of course, the personal lessons is about freedom as well. So water people likes freedom. They like to be able to be free to do the things that they want to do. But you see, in order for us to get freedom, we have to fight for it. Okay, we have to like stand up for it, right? Freedom comes with a lot of responsibility. Are we responsible for ourselves or not? Okay?
And also come with discipline as well.
Yes, because a lot of people, if you ask anyone, especially children or whatever, they will tell you, yeah, I want freedom. I prefer like no one tells me what to do. No one actually give me deadline, right? As if that I know, like, when to actually deliver the things that I want to do. But the thing is,
if you don't have discipline, 咁你就做唔到，交唔到你嘅功課。
Yeah, because a lot of people will give the reason is like, I don't like people to tell me what to do. Yeah, you don't like that. But do you know how to actually do the things when it's needed to be done? Okay, so that is also one of the things that water people, even though you like freedom, but you have to ask yourself, can you actually gain this freedom? Can you earn this freedom or not? Okay, it takes a lot of responsibility and also self-responsibility and discipline. Okay, and of course now look into the next one, the earth. Okay, earth element. Now, if you're on the earth element, right? Okay, okay. So if you're an earth element, right? Okay, the personal lessons and yearly focus that you need to focus on this year is evolution, changes. All right. So now this year itself, personal lessons is all about partnerships, collaborations. It can be relationship. So if you find that you're an earth element person, this year is a year that will test you in terms of your relationship. Relationship can be like business partnership, can be like colleagues, working relationship, can be collaborations, can be the connections that you have. It's all about tests in terms of that. Okay? It means now, evolution means changes, right? You evolve and you grow from it. Means this year itself, earth people, you have to ask yourself, okay, what are the relationships are not, okay, or what sort of relationship are not conducive into growing you, okay, as a person anymore.
So 意思話咧，依個今年2018年咧 ，for earth 嘅嗰個 element 咧，就會係有好多轉變嘅發生㗎啦喎。譬如話好似可能會轉工啦，或者係會有同人合作啦，或者好多唔同嘅一啲人事上面或者係 partnership collaboration 上面嘅轉變㗎啦。
It will be in terms of the lessons will be all in terms of relationship. Let's say for instance, if all this while you find it difficult to actually work with your colleagues. You find it very difficult to work in an environment where you're in your office. It's not the work that you do not enjoy, but it's the people that you cannot like stand.
Okay.
So that is a lesson there that you have to focus on. Why? Ask yourself, why do you find it difficult to work with this sort of people? Okay, is it really their problem? Or is it's a reflection of our inner issues as well?
Okay.
Because we believe in everything happens as a mirror image.
Correct.
Okay. So what is it exactly that we have to learn from that?
所以譬如話好似咧，我哋如果發現咧，我突然間好討厭我嘅同事，或者係我每次睇到我嘅伴侶嘅時候咧，都覺得佢好似有啲嘢唔啱啊，所以呢啲嘢咧都愛問翻自己到底係發生咗啲咩事。
Yeah, what is it that inside us that we have to look into in order for us to grow? It's like, why is it the relationship surrounding us itself is giving us so much hard times or difficulties? Alright? So those are the things that we need to evolve. Evolve means, right, okay, the chances we need to transform ourselves. We have to make changes, right? Even up to the extent of letting go of like certain relationship that's no longer like growing or serving us or making us better.
所以意思話咧，如果響2018年咧，依家11月咗啦，我哋知道咗，我嘅感情咧，其實真係冇辦法行落去啦。咁我哋真係愛時候去揾翻自己嘅目標，到底我人生或者我感情入邊咧需要啲乜嘢嘢 係咪真係要放手啦？或者係咪真係如果我決定行落去嘅話咧，咁我應該用啲咩方法去補救㗎？
Yeah. So why don't I say like okay in a way that let's say for instance say for Earth people in 2018 itself, you will find that probably you have been like hanging on to a relationship for a very long time, and you're still hanging on. Probably these 2 months itself is a time for you to ask yourself the questions. Why are you hanging on to it? What are you hanging on for? Okay, what is it exactly that you want to achieve at the end of the day? Ask yourself these questions. Or it can be not necessarily must be a relationship that you're already in. It can be like all this while you're single and available for the longest time. And every time that people talk about relationship, you just say no. All right? I'm not ready for it. Or no one is suitable for me. Now, that is also one thing that you might want to look into. Evolve means now that you're ready to look into all the connections and relationship or personal relationship in your life and how to work on it. Okay? Doesn't mean that staying single means that I can actually run away from all the relationship issues or problem. Okay?
因為 relationship 嘅話，同你嘅父母啦，或者係你嘅同事啦、你嘅朋友啦，或者係你嘅上司啊，甚至係邊個都好，都係一種 relationship.
Yeah. How to work on that particular part of the relationship itself. Okay? It means that if it's really not working out, what are you going to do? Anything that you can learn from yourself or anything that you need to actually do in order to like either like cut, okay, or to grow or evolve yourself to another level. Okay? So that is for the earth element. Now let's look at the wood.
OK， 頭先Brian 咧就有問到咧，what is the difference for yin and yang？咁譬如好似木個係咪？因為我哋講 earth 啊嘛，咁如果 earth yin 同埋 earth yang 嘅話，
Yes, definitely. Of course, there are more detail and there are difference to it. But the thing is, we have to actually squeeze all the information into 1 hour. So if I spread it out into yin and yang, instead of talking about 5 elements, I need to talk about 10 elements. We need a few episodes for this.
Maybe.
Okay.
Next.
There are definitely difference. Let's say, for instance, example to answer Brian's questions, right? Let's say, for instance, water, yin water and yang water, because you see different elements. Okay. For yang water, for this year itself, right, you see 7 killings, as where else for yin water you see direct officer. So it's a different thing now. Yang water feels more pressure, they feel more stress. Now when I say this, I know that those of you who have no idea onto like what parts is all about and all the 10 gods jargon, right, you'll feel very lost. Okay, but this is actually to answer the questions of one of the students and consultant that have actually like lay out the questions itself. There are definitely difference, and that difference brings it into a more detailed reading. Okay, so now we go back into the wood element. Now let's say if you find that your day master is a wood element, the lessons that you have to learn this year is gratitude, how to be grateful of the things that you already have, okay, of where you are, of what you have achieved, okay, how to be grateful of that. And then like yearly focus itself is actually into focusing into create wealth creation, okay, investment, right? What have you learned into your own wealth creation? What have you invested in terms of like 2018 for wood people?
So 意思話咧 ，for 2018年 for wood people 咧，咁佢哋最主要咧focus 嘅嘢就係佢哋自己本身嘅錢財啦，同埋佢嘅投資嘅喎。咁我所謂嘅錢財係咪真係 physical 錢銀咧？可唔可以係知識咧
？Anything that belongs to you, your wealth, okay, belongs to you, your wealth, like now. It means that some people it can actually goes into for guys, right? It can be like the things that you possess.
OK， 譬如話好似我今年咧，我係木嘅，咁我投資咗讀八字咁樣樣，算唔算係一種wealth 嘅嗰個 creation？
Now, wealth creation is provided that whatever things at the end of the day will create wealth for you. You see, knowledge itself can be a knowledge for just knowledge or knowledge that is actually eventually will turn to wealth. Means you take in the resource, but after that you use it to make money out of it. Okay, that's a different approach. Then that one belongs to the wealth element. But a lot of people, they just learn it, but they do not use the knowledge in order to to gain some like returns out of it. So that always remains as a resource. You just know it, but you don't know how to use it. Okay, so that is not wealth.
所以意思話 for 木嘅人咧，就係知道自己學咗啲咩咧，可以用嚟賺錢嘅。
Okay, so this year itself for wood people, it's not about learning, it's about using what you have learned. All right, all the skills that you have, all the talents that you have had, okay, all the work that you have done. What are the wealth creation? It means this year, right, you have to cut out all the craps. Means like you cannot work for nothing. If you're trying to get attention, you're trying to make people feel like happy for you, you are trying to make people acknowledge or validate you, and by doing that, you start doing like charity work. like doing like helping other people, okay, without like really like looking into like what are the like practical outcomes that you're gonna get out of it, then it means that this year you have not learned your lesson.
Okay.
Because wealth creation means that you need to be practical. If I want to do something, what will be the benefit of it? Because I'm investing my time, I'm investing my energy into it. Okay. So if I invested this time and energy on the particular things that I'm focusing on, okay, what will be my benefits?
Okay.
Are you giving me or exchanging to me in terms of tokens of like money, or is it other assets? Okay, what are the barter trades that I get out of it? So all wood person needs to be able to think like this, okay? At the same time, right, okay, now wealth creation and investments also mean, right, okay, how well we can actually manage our wealth management, okay? So this year itself, right, okay, do you know how to really manage your wealth? That's one thing that the wood people needs to look into.
So 譬如話好似咧，如果我有一筆錢咧，我攞嚟放 FD 或者係我攞嚟買基金，咁樣呢啲嘢都係我自己去
it's
plan
wealth management. Yes, so that is exactly the lessons for the wood people that need to learn. All right, for instance, you have this particular capital, okay, this investment itself. Will you actually risk it all out for some like get rich quick sort of like scheme, or you want to actually use this and learn how to park it into some long-term safer better investments? Okay, right, if you know how to do this, means that the chances of your wealth creation, you know how to make use of your information, your knowledge and your skill. So that is the thing that you need to learn. If you do not know about it, go for lessons. There are so many different types of workshops and lessons available out there. Okay, go for it, learn about all these things. Okay, but of course the key word for personal lessons of like all the wood people is gratitude. Be grateful. Okay, if you think that you are bad, or you're in a bad situation, or you're sad, or you are like going through a bad luck, I can assure you there are a lot of people going through worse luck.
係啦，比你仲慘嘅都有。
係啊，so gratitude is a key word for the wood people in order for them to actually be open up to see through the year.
所以意思話咧，今年咧 for 屬木嘅人咧，我知道我 lay down 自己有啲咩嘢 asset，from 呢個 asset 咧，我可以點樣去賺更多嘅錢？譬如話好似我有一間屋嘅，咁我可唔可以攞嚟做 Airbnb 去賺錢咧？或者係其實咧我係有呢個八字嘅 knowledge 嘅，咁我可唔可以透過呢個八字嘅 knowledge 去幫人做 consult 咧去賺錢翻嚟咧？所以呢啲咧都係今年木人咧需要去學嘅。
Wood people, even like making use of all the like credit cards, points creation and accumulation of points. To you, you thought like, oh no, it's like very tedious to go and collect points like that. But imagine whether you collect the points or not, you're spending this amount of money. You know, nowadays, a lot of shoppings and all that, they have the point collect discount cards and all that. Right? You just have to put in that effort to collect more points, and eventually these points itself you can change maybe for free parking. Alright? Right? You can actually change for like some free gift or anything that can be essential for your daily use. Right? And all these things is all about wealth management. So these are the things that the wood people need to focus on.
Okay. 所以木人咧就要注意啦，就係呢啲嘢，所以諗翻你自己有啲咩 asset， 同埋喺呢個 asset 入邊咧點樣 turn into 你嘅錢財。
And of course, investment is one of the things that they should be looking into as well. Alright, and then of course the next one is like metal. Right, metal. If your day master is metal, alright, one of the elements that you need to actually learn, okay, is surrender. Being able to let go and surrender to things.
投降啦，所以譬如話我哋通常我哋講投降嘅時候咧，係一個好 negative 嘅一個字，所以我哋應該係講放低我哋自己嘅姿態啦，去接受睇下呢個宇宙或者係呢個 surrounding 俾我哋啲咩。
Yeah, because the thing is like as you say, it's the mentality thing. A lot of people thought that surrendering is like it's bad. It hurts the ego. The ego will not want to surrender. Okay, I'm not surrendering. Okay, what do you mean I'm surrender? I'm not defeated. I'm not a failure. But surrender is just a word. There's no meaning to it unless we have some mentality or belief system to input meaning to it. Surrender simply means, other words, is like letting go. Okay, right, relieving ourselves. Okay, so like for the matter people is you have to learn how to relax, let go. Okay, and of course the lessons and the yearly focus is like spiritual growth and intellectual development. All right, how you actually, for metal people, you have to learn new things. Okay, learn new things. 放下執着 means don't always hang on to the outcome of things. Right, you don't always like, oh, I do this, but when I do this, I need to make sure that I will need to see this result or this outcome. No, you have to relax, let it go. I do this, I do not care what's the outcome. Whether I win or I lose, I get prize or I do not get the prize, it's not a thing that I'm concerned of. The concern is, when I do this, I learn something.
OK，所以就好似我哋話嘅，唔好好似一嚿鐵咁樣，或者一把劍咁硬啦。
係啦，
咩嘢都係啦，咩都愛黑白分明，或者係一斬咧就兩邊好清清楚楚嘅。咁我哋今年咧 for 鐵嘅人咧，就需要咧就係學點樣去 relax。咁無論係你做一樣嘢啦，或者你學一樣嘢咧，到最尾咧。係享受嘅過程，同埋你學到啲咩嘢，而唔係得到啲咩嘢結果。
Yes, because you see, a lot of times when we do certain things, especially for metal people this year, is we want to see the end result. If I'm not sure or not guaranteed that I will get the girl or the guy that I desire, I will not even make a single move. Okay? If I'm not sure that I will be successful, not guaranteed to be successful on this thing, I will not even like do it in the first place.
Okay.
Alright? If I cannot be sure that I'm going to win the competition, I will not join in the first place.
咁我可唔可以講佢係斤斤計較咧？
佢未必斤斤計較，係執着。
執着。
Okay， 佢會好執着。It means they are very like how to say insisting into getting the results that they want. So that will be the lessons for them this year. So if they keep on insisting on this, right, they will suffer more. Is because the luck of the year itself will throw them more lessons in order for them to not being able to achieve what they want. Right, the picture perfect that they've like painted in their mind itself, the chances of them getting that perfect picture will not be very high unless until one day there's like, heck it, I don't care anymore. I don't care about the outcome. I just want to do the best that I could.
And enjoy the moment.
Yes, enjoy the moment and learn as much as possible to learn. All right, and whatever the outcome, I will be able to actually like embrace it. Okay, once you have that mentality and you start to relax and let go, things will shift. It means that you have learned the things that you need to learn in 2018.
Okay. So 譬如話咁 spiritual 嗰度咧
？Spiritual growth means look internally because you see, whenever we are not willing to let go in life and all that, right? Okay, the chances is our ego is in the way. So spiritual growth itself now, why we should go into spiritual growth itself is not to actually condemn or kill off our ego, but the thing is to understand the ego and how to live in harmony with it. Okay, so that's part of the spiritual growth. When I say spiritual growth, doesn't mean that you have to just sit down there and like okay, day in, day out. You have to go full vegetarian, okay, dress everything like differently and all that. You don't have to do that. It's just that now that you know, all right, spiritual growth means right now you know that, okay, right, wisdom and like the ego itself. You use wisdom in order to like, how to say, not to say manage, but live in harmony with the ego. It means that it is balancing out. Our wisdom and the ego is balancing out in our life itself. So that is what I actually mean by spiritual growth.
Okay, so 就唔好以為就所謂嘅 spiritual 就你喺嗰度打坐啦，或者係念經啦，或者係咩嘢啦咁樣。其實咧就係喺我哋生活入邊去embrace 呢樣嘢。
Yes, and of course spiritual growth, one of the best way is always do reflection. Now, what the purpose of like this particular episode of reflecting in 2018? Because reflection, okay, right? Reflection always turns experiences into insights, right? Because or else, right, if you don't reflect on certain things, right, all the things that have happened are just merely experiences that we have experienced in life. But it doesn't turn it into deep valued wisdom, insights, right? Okay, some deeper perspective that you get and the lessons for you to actually get out of it. So through all these reflections itself, the more we go into a reflective mode to think, not only for ourselves, but of course other people in the same encounterment, that will actually help us to find the ultimate, how to say, answer or the ultimate greater truth to things. Because if we don't reflect, the chances is the ego will always make us see things from only our side of truth.
Correct.
But once we try to see things from the above, from the greater truth, then we'll be able to see from the other perspective as well. And when we're able to do this, we're able to let go.
And also be soften yourself. 係啦，會軟化你自己啦。
Okay, and of course the next one or the last one will be fire element.
好，我哋睇下
Right, now fire element, of course, the lessons and the yearly focus for this year itself, okay? Now, personal lessons is about responsibility. How to take responsibility for your life, okay? And then the yearly focus, okay, is about creativity and progressive change. So first thing, fire people, you need to take up responsibility for your life.
係啦，愛負責任啦，對你嘅人生係愛負責任嘅。
Yeah, are you responsible? That is the question that you have to ask yourself.
咁我呢個負責任嘅呢個咧，係咪對所有嘅嘢咧？譬如話好似屋企人啊，或者我嘅感情啊，我嘅事業啊，或者有乜嘢特別嘅
Because you see,
係愛
Cole was asking, okay, when you talk about responsibility, right, does it mean that you have to be responsible for your family, your relationship,
or your
career, or whatsoever? Now, when I say responsibility, it means that you have to take full responsibility for yourself first. Because when we are able to be fully responsible for ourselves, because there are minor little things subconsciously that we might be doing every day that we find that we are not very responsible for ourselves or for our general well-being. Okay, right? Have we been uttering like negative words? Okay, not sometimes we condemn ourselves without us realizing it. Okay, we actually speak negative words. Okay, we spread out negative energy. Right? The fire people have to learn whatever that you have been emitting out. Okay, throughout the year itself, is it a positive energy or a negative energy? Okay, so small little things.
所以意思話咧，呢個責任咧係我對自己負上嘅。
Yes, and a lot of times it can actually boils down in terms of our verbal communications, the speech, the words that we choose to use.
OK，所以譬如話好似我自己本身我快樂嘅話咧，我就係對自己有一個責任咧，去點樣去揾出呢個快樂嘅根源啦。
Yeah, and also act on it. Okay, what have you been doing in order for you to achieve that? So a lot of time people think, okay, like the ultimate like goal that they want to achieve, they painted in their mind itself, but every small little things, be it like action or verbal or whatever words that I'm not sure whether we got disconnected. I think we pressed the wrong button.
唔好意思。
It's okay. Are we back online? People like watching
Give
now?
it I think it may have ended.
Really?
Yeah. Wait. Okay, you're back.
Okay. So sorry, we have pressed the wrong button.
Luckily, it just sort of continues.
Okay. It's like we have pressed the wrong button. Okay. So where were we just now? About responsibilities. Okay.
Correct.
So fire itself is all about like taking responsibility of your life. At the same time, this year focusing on creativity and progressive change. So if your day master is fire element, okay, what are the things that you have created this year? What are the creations? What are your ideas? What are the things that you have actually like created out? Be it in terms of your work or like additional effort in creativity in terms of a relationship and all these things. What have you done? Or progressive change.
Okay.
Have you been making progressive change in your life this year? What are the things that have changed in your life?
OK，咁譬如好似 in terms of 你講嘅 creativity，咁我愛向呢個譬如好似我嘅創意或者係有啲咩 specific 嘅ideas 俾我哋嘅朋友咧
Now, when it comes to, of course, like creativity and all that, okay, you have to like ask yourself, do something differently, all right? And then do you actually like, have the full responsibility to like, to dare yourself and to have the courage to actually be creative in the things that you do?
OK，譬如好似有啲人咧，我而家諗到㗎啦，就譬如好似有啲人講，哎呀，我好想學嘢啊，或者係我好想去 take up 一個 course 啊、lesson 啊，或者係我去整蛋糕啊，但係永遠咧就係
諗
係啦，所以呢個就係冇對自己嘅生活有更
Firstly,
多
you're
嘅
not
創意啦。
responsible for what you want
Correct.
because you don't take the right action into whatever that's painted in your mind. All right, and then the next thing is, okay, you don't go into a platform that actually enhances your creativity.
And also challenge yourself.
Yeah, or challenge yourself.
係啦，其實好多時候我哋幫人做 consult 嘅時候咧，我問佢你個 hobby 係乜嘢？冇㗎，
Yeah,
或者
you'll be
係
surprised.
瞓覺睇戲。
Is it really? If like a lot of people, I'm not sure, okay, about like those viewers out there. If you really ask yourself, what is your hobby? It's like during your free time, what will be the one thing or two things that you feel so excited into doing? That you don't have to like people to urge you into doing it, that people don't have to force you into doing it. But naturally, whenever you have the free time, probably you just pick up a book and you start reading. Probably you just sit down in front of a piano and you start playing. Alright? Probably you just like, like browse through and like what are the next travel destination that you want to go to. Right? Okay, or you want to see what are the new good food that you want to try. All this is something about what you are truly passionate about, you enjoy, you like. But you'll be surprised, a lot of people, they don't feel anymore because they go into a repetitive world of like working and they got consumed by the society, right? So their life itself is like, in a way that they become like, AI, like robot, artificial intelligence, they have no feelings. Okay, to them it's like they don't even have time to actually sit down and feel what they love most because they don't, in a way that they do not know what they love anymore.
啱啦，因為我記得師傅曾經講過咧，佢講如果你想快樂嘅話咧，或者係你想揾到嗰個快樂根源咧，你就愛不斷去學習，透過係啦去 action 去 learn 嘅時候咧，你會improve 你自己嘅 value。咁你有 self value 嘅時候咧，你就會有嗰個快樂噶啦。所以好多時候咧，我哋做 consult 嘅時候，我問佢：你有啲咩 hobby 想去 achieve 啊，或者係想做㗎？通常佢就講：咪就瞓覺啦。同朋友去飲下茶咁樣八卦啦。
Exactly, there's a lot of people, right? They don't have something that they truly passionate or interested into doing.
同埋佢冇，因為你冇去 create 一啲嘢咧，你就唔會覺得你對呢個社會有貢獻，或者你自己對自己有啲嘢做。
Okay, so remember, if you're fire element, this 2 months itself before 2019 officially comes in during the coming of spring or Chun time, right? Okay. Ask yourself, like, push yourself out there to try every single different things that you can actually lay your hand on. Just try it, right? A lot of people say, I can't find my passion yet. I can't find my hobby. But have you tried everything? There are so many things. They are painting, they are music, they are singing, they are planting, gardening, okay? Flirting is also a hobby, okay? If you like flirting, just go out and flirt, okay? Alright, just do something that you enjoy.
啱，因為我知道咧有一個台灣嘅男仔咧，佢就係日日拍咗嗰啲 flirting 嘅嗰個 video 之後咧，紅鬼咗。
Yeah, okay, it's like flirting is also something that you enjoy. If you enjoy flirting, by goodness, for God's sake, it's like go out there and flirt.
At least you create something 你做咗一啲你 create 咗 something。
You have to actively participate in it. Keep doing it, then only you know what you like and what you don't like.
啱啦，好多人咧就係同我講，我唔知道啊，我冇target 啦，或者咩，佢就係坐喺嗰度就齋諗啫。咁佢唔做，咁佢點知道自己中唔中意？
Yeah. Okay. So remember, fire element, creativity. Be creative. Do things differently. All right. Progressive change means you have to actually start doing something differently already. All right. To actually push you towards that, like that changes that will uplift you.
或者咧，譬如話好似你日日都着黑色衫去做工嘅，可能第二日咧，你聽日咧着一啲特別啲嘅，或者係化一啲靚啲嘅妝，咁樣令到自己咧有啲更多嘅創意，都算係嘅。
And I like this fact that it's like, a lot of people, they will just then say that, but I don't like colors. Why? Okay, if you give a very good reason, okay, right, okay, that you can answer like why you don't like colors, okay, then probably like you justify to yourself. But a lot of times, right, people just don't know why. I just don't like it.
So you did never try also?
You never try and they just don't like it, but they don't go into a deeper questions to question themselves. Why? Because if you ask a deeper questions, why you don't like colors? Why you don't like people who are like cheerful? Some people, they see happy people, they become sad, they become angry, they become frustrated.
係會講都唔知開心嚟做咩，都唔知笑乜嘢，
笑咁大聲做咩？Okay, alright. So there are people like that. When they see other people being happy, they become frustrated. Now the question is, why?
係啦，因為我日日都講咧，譬如話好似 smile 其實都係一個 creative 嘅一樣嘢嚟㗎。點解咧？你創造咗一個笑容出嚟，你俾人哋會接收呢樣嘢。
It's the energy, okay, that you share.
So you are creating the energy also.
The thing is, why don't you like certain things? That is the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Okay? All right. So of course, wow, how long already? But this one.
我哋應該差唔多一粒鐘㗎啦。
Okay. So now this is only based on like now personal lessons and yearly focus. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish everything. Let's stop here. Let's keep the next session to next week. Now next week is career focus, career growth. All right, so we have roughly about 2 months, okay, right, to actually work on this. So next week itself, let's look into 2018 business and career focus. For different element, it will be different. Let's save this time for people who want to share their personal chart. Okay, so yeah, if you have your personal chart, okay, if you can you actually share photos on the comment?
They can't at the live. They have to list out their pillars.
Oh, okay, so you have to list out your pillars. Okay, so you have to list out, for instance, your year. What are the elements? Let's say, for instance, you have yang, earth over dog, example. Or the month, you have like yin, water over rabbit, example. Then like your day, it can be like yang, water over monkey, example. And then the hour, what are the elements over what are the animal sign? Tell us that, how to say, put it onto the comments, and then we will look into it and we will try to look into what are the issues that you might want to focus on. Chris here say, my day master is Geng, yang matter, Shi, yang earth. Yeah. Now, give me your whole chart if it's possible so that we can actually look into a more detailed reading for you. But if you're uncomfortable with your whole chart, then it will we will just do it based on your day master. Okay, now Geng Shi this year itself, right? Be a Geng matter. Is it possible, Chris, for us to actually ask you which month were you born into? It's like your birth month.
所以呢個係庚
術
係啦庚啦，所以就係有嗰個所謂嘅 surrender 嘅
Yeah, okay, so for Geng,
lesson
as we mentioned, right, okay, in general, for Geng, right, okay, the lessons and the personal focus of the year is about letting go and surrendering yourself, right? Always remind yourself, right, okay, don't go into the extent of like making sure that you need to be in control of things or in control of the outcome. That will be one of the things that you need to focus on. So it will be good if you can share with me like your birth month.
November.
November, I assume it's after November 8th. Okay, now November itself is actually a pig month. Pig month is output, so it's actually Geng matter in the eating god. Now November month itself, right, okay, with a Geng matter, for this year itself, you will foresee that there will be possibilities of like potential growth that you might want to look into, because overall Geng Shi itself in November month is still like a weak metal, because these are all the informations that we only get, okay? So it's a weak metal. So this year itself, right, okay, it is a possibilities for you to actually see potential learning growth, or it's all internal growth. Look into internal growth itself, okay? What are the things that you can actually do in order to refine your how to say, your output? Refine your output means, right, okay, what are the things that you can actually do in order for you to refine your creativity skill, your talents, or the things that you actually work into? What industries are you in? Chris?
所以意思話，譬如話，好似因為你講係 output 呢樣嘢，你要 surrender on 呢樣嘢，意思話，when 你響你去創作呢樣嘢嘅時候咧，你唔好咁執着，係啦，你唔好話我一定愛得到呢樣嘢，或者我寫作嘅話，我一定愛好多人睇我先去寫呢樣嘢。所以你就係譬如話，用一個心態就係，無論我有冇人睇都好，我寫咗之後咧，我響呢個創作入邊有學到一啲嘢就已經夠㗎啦喎。
Yeah, okay, means that this year quiz itself, right, okay, one of the things that you have to remind yourself, you might feel bullied at times because of the double dog itself, right? You might find that certain situations happens, okay, that how
Sales
to say
industry.
Okay, how to say that in terms of your mentality, you find that certain things are not fair. Certain things you feel like you are trapped in a very bullying environment and all that. So this year itself, right, it will be good for you to actually focus on how to refine your skill. Refine your skill in a sense of like, what are the things that you can learn or to take up in order for you to actually sales industry, is it?
Yep.
Now in sales industry, what are the things that you can take up? Workshops or any classes that you can actually join in order for you to present better. Okay, for you to be able to actually sell better. There's an art to selling. There's an art for you to actually influence other people. So what are the art, or what are the things that you need to actually learn in order for you to actually grow, okay, from like how to say, your level to the up to the next level? It's about refining your skill. okay, creations as well. So any other things that you can actually think of, like any other ways for you to sell rather than the same similar way of selling. Okay, so what are the different ways of like selling can you actually like input for yourself? Now this year will also be a year for you to consider like looking into your like home. If you're thinking about like making changes in terms of your like immediate environment, if you're thinking about like moving, okay, making changes into like your immediate environment, it will be also a good year for you to look into that as well. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Wow, there are so many. It's like which one should we focus on?
Ray， 因為 Ray 俾晒所有嘅
Ray, okay, let's look into Ray. Where's Ray? Ray Chong, is it?
係啦。
All right. So Ray Chong has the whole entire chart here, right? Okay, let's see. Ray Chong has Yang Earth with Yang that Wu Chen here. Can I have that? 我寫開出嚟會容易對啲啊。Okay. So you have Wu Chen here, and then you have the Yang Earth with Yang Fire. Wu Men, and then you have Yin Fire. Ting. Sorry, it jumps. You have Ting Si, right?
Yeah.
Ting Si, and then Kui Mao. Okay. Now, for Ray itself, right, your chart this year, strong fire. Now, this year is a very good year of change for you, Ray. There will be opportunities for you to look into a new start, okay? This year, latest on to next year. Means from now, 2018 to transition 2019 is the best year for you to really consider new starts. There will be new starts up like people might be approaching you. Or you might have the idea or thinking about like doing something totally different from what you have been doing before all this while. And this year will be a best year for you to actually take up that courage to make the changes. Now, the thing in your chart is you have too much earth and very weak metal. Means that you have the desire, you have the energy, you have the passion, you feel like making a change. But the earth itself will pull you back into procrastination. You procrastinate towards it. You sit into your comfort zone. And because of the lacking of the metal element, it actually affects your decision and action making skill. Okay? So this year itself, Ray, it will be a year for you to really look into making a leap in your life itself. Make a change. Totally go into considering doing something totally different from what you have been doing before. All right, let's say for instance, right, okay, changing of industry, or maybe now starting to come out and do something on your own. It could be it. Trying something new on the sideline. It can be something new as well, or even relocating yourself, because this year itself, when the major change comes in, this year up to next year, there will be chance for you to relocate. Have you been actually thinking about moving elsewhere, going somewhere to look for new opportunities? If you have thoughts of that, this will be a good year for you to do so. Your negative setback is procrastination, over-analyzing into situations, and lacking of courage to take action and making decision. All right, so now you have to ask yourself, what have you got to lose? All right, Ray, ask yourself, if I make that change, what have I got to lose? Okay, because you are born in which year? Wu Chen year. Wu Chen year is, which year is that Wu Chen? Wu Chen is 28. Wu Chen is which year? Okay, because for Ray itself, right, okay, this year itself will be a very good year for you to take up that courage to make that tremendous change in your life. Okay, so it will be good for you to look into that instead, or else, right, the ideas have come. You have thought of it, but the thing is, it's just lacking of that courage and action for you to push further.
係啦，So Ray 咧就自己本身係想改變一啲嘢嘅，反而咧佢自己咧就係因為太過響一個 comfort zone 入邊啦，同埋佢冇強烈嘅嗰個改變嗰個決心咧，所以令到佢冇辦法改變啦。OK， 所以 Ray 咧，你一定要記得咧就係問自己，如果你真係做咗呢個改變嘅話咧，最大嘅嗰個outcome 或者係你嘅 loss 係咩嘢？如果真係唔係太大嘅話咧，咁你就可以真係去做啦。
because if it's just the investment of energy, okay, there's like nothing to be fearful unless like now your big changes or your new things that you want to do involve millions of investment. Then probably you want to like think about it and analyze and have like more details and all that. But if it's merely about changing a job or trying something different or doing something new, then probably you should actually push yourself to have more courage to make that decisions. All right. The year 1988. You're so young. I will roll eyes. Okay? All right, Ray, I'm not sure whether you have actually thought about making any changes this year itself, right? In terms either of your career or whatsoever, or even relocating yourself, maybe going abroad, trying something new in a different land. Okay, so if you have thought of that, this will be a good year for you to really seriously take up that courage or making that decision. Okay. Whereas for Jen, what I see here is like, thanks to our Mr. Director, he has actually like, written out all your charts, okay? Here, so for easy reference. Now, Jen here, give us her chart born in Ding Mao year, Sin Hai month, Ding Hai day, and a Jiak Chen. Now, Jen, for your chart itself, you have a double punishment. So this year itself, right, when it comes to relationship is one thing that you have to really focus on, because whatever decisions or like how to say and out of like how to say abrupt decisions that you could have made this year itself, it can actually lead you to self-punishment next year. It means you have a very high chance of regretting whatever decisions that you will be making this year. So in order to minimize that regret is make sure that you think thoroughly and feel from your heart. Don't make any decisions that based on like, what you think other people might think of you, or not based on how other people might judge you. Don't make any decision based on like, making other people please or trying to please other people. Okay, so because if you do that, the chances of like self-sabotaging yourself is very high.
Okay, so 譬如話，因為頭先你講咧，佢係特別係喺 relationship 入邊係嘛，所以係真係男女嘅感情啊，或者係咩
？Now for 佢咧 of course now Cole was actually asking for your behalf is that when you say relationship, and I mentioned relationship is really when it comes to personal relationship, intimate relationship, or work related. It can be both work and personal relationship, but the focus is like how to say stronger when it comes to personal relationship.
就係可能係男女感情入邊嘅嘞喎。
係 okay, so there could be more complications, more confusions when it comes to your own relationship. So the thing is, before you make any drastic decisions, ask yourself, what are the things that you need to actually change or grow or learn in order for you to actually get yourself into a more fulfilling relationship itself?
所以譬如話好似咧just 一個 situations 啦譬如話好似我係同佢拍緊拖嘅，但係可能佢嘅屋企人唔中意我，咁就係因為咁樣嘅一個影響，會令到佢 make a wrong decision。
Now that could be one of the possibilities, but this is actually based on her own I would say insecurities.
Okay.
Okay, because Jen probably for you is like, you can be, I would say, suspicious. It's like for you, it's like trust is one of the things that you have to work into when it comes to your own personal relationship, right? Now, it's not to say what's right or wrong, but just inside of you, probably since young, you have gone through a lot of like scenarios or a lot of like situations happening in your immediate family or whatsoever that will greatly affect your trust when it comes to relationship. So that will be one of the things that you need to look into, because it's not that the relationship is not working out, because you always have this fear inside you that you find it very difficult to trust the people around you, be it colleagues or bosses or even your loved ones. So when these things happens, okay, at the end of the day, due to our own perception, it will create or put us into a sabotaging sort of like situation. Okay, so that will be one of the things that you need to be focusing on. Now, Vivian here. Vivian is actually having a chart of Yip Mao. Okay, Yip Mao, Wu Zi, Kui Si, and Wu Wu Hour. So she's a Kui Si, Kui born in winter, very strong water. Now, this year is a good year of advancement in terms of career growth and also in terms of relationship. But it will be good for you to focus on career growth, because whatever relationship growth that you might actually look into might not be a very stable growth. It means the relationship itself, right, can be challenging. It means this year you might see a new potential. Whether you are single, if you're single, you might see a new potential, but this new potential will give you, how to say, a rough patch for you to learn for in 2019. So this year seems good, but next year will be a lesson year when it comes to personal relationship. But let's say if you're married, then this year itself you might actually have tofa. Okay, so you need to be very careful into handling your tofa or the peach blossom that you have surrounding you. So for you itself, we will this year, advancement of career, if you're focusing on career this year, the chances of getting promotion will be high. So try to aim towards that. Okay, from this year latest up to probably in February, just up to Chinese New Year, the chances is higher. If not, then at least switching of job, changing bosses, right? Or either you change a job, or like there will be like relocations that happens that you have to report to a new boss, also possibilities.
So 譬如話好似佢嘅 job scope 可能唔同咗啦，或者係佢可能會升咗去另一個 department 做另外一啲嘢都有可能嘅喎。
Yeah. Alright. So for Vivian is okay. The thing that you need to always like focus on is actually ask yourself, are you happy doing the things that you're doing? Okay, so you always have to always remind yourself, whatever that you're doing, either in a relationship or the job that you're in yourself now, are you happy in it? Okay, are you happy working in it, or you just merely stay in it just for the sake of like staying in it? Okay, so that will be one of the things. But advancement in relationship and all that is actually very high, pretty good year. So yeah, but if you're married, then you have to like be careful of handling on the tofa lah. Okay. So this is Win and Win. Okay, Win and Win is Ji Wei, Bing Yin, Wu Wu, and Kui Hai. Okay, Wu Yin, Bing. Alright, for this year itself, Win Win, you will find that it will be a year of like a lot of competition. So let's say if you're in an environment that if competition is something that is like good for you, for example, if you're in MLM sort of like environment, you need to have a lot of like, how to say, downlines. Okay, so it will be a good year for you.
因為頭先我哋講咗for 土嘅人咧就係
for connection,
partnership,
collaboration, socializing and all that. So if you this year itself look into like like how to collaborate with people, how to partner with people, how to actually like when people give you the competition will actually push you further. This year will be a good year for you to do so. But if you're the type of person that you're afraid of competition, whenever you see competitions, you will back out, you will run away from it, then this year is a year for you to learn the lesson of facing the competition instead of running away. Means it's a year for you to actually fight for what you think is good for you. It means you need to really fight for it.
所以意思話喺呢2個月入邊嘅話咧，咁佢我盡快去揾多一啲 connection 嘅咯，譬如話好似 partnership 啊，或者同人哋合作啊，去做一啲咁樣去做一啲嘢嘅喎。
Okay, Jen Ting actually has a question just now. She was actually asking about like planning to work together with my spouse. Is that suitable? I wouldn't suggest for you to actually start on that this year or next year, because the self-punishment is actually relating to your spouse and your relationship. And now you're further creating like a work business relationship with your spouse. Like so the chances is like the possibilities of you and your spouse in working in the relationship or working relationship itself have different ideas, different approach to things or concept into like doing a business will be like very high. Means the differences are very high. It will affect not only the business but also your personal relationship.
So 意思話佢就將自己再揾多一樣嘢 sabotage 自己嘅感情㗎啦。將自己放多落去一個 self-punishment. So for Jen, I really do not recommend you to get into a business partnership with your spouse in particular in this particular year. Okay, doing something different is good, is perfect. Going into a business partnership, it could be something that you can actually open yourself up into and consider. But the thing is, with your spouse is the thing that it is not recommended. Okay, so win-win here again. Yeah. So what other things have we actually? Wow, there's so many of them, and because like the time, no, we do 2 more. Okay, 2 more. Don't send in any more charts. We have Christina here and also Christine Chong. Okay, so Christina Chia is Yit Mao, Yit Yo, Bing Shi, and Xin Mao. Okay, so Bing Shi in Xin Mao, this is Wu Shi. Yeah. Now, this year itself for Christina Mao Mao combination. Okay. Now, this year itself,
will be will be a progressive year for you, okay? All right, in a way that you have to allow change to happen, because in your chart itself, right, the chances is you holding on to the old things or holding on to certain things like 留戀 okay, you keep on holding on to the certain things, that chances is very high. So one of your biggest weakness is also like, you know, hanging on to the things that is actually hurting you or is not beneficial for you. So for Christina, it will be a good year for you to consider releasing these things first thing. Okay? Releasing these things, okay, and then after that, like, the other thing is like try to actually make changes. What are the changes or creativity things that you can implement in your life? For instance, if you're into any artistic work, if you're in a job that requires a lot of like thinking, a lot of like creations, okay, it will be a good year for you to work on that. Okay, but if you're thinking about relationship, this year is not a very conducive year for you in terms of relationship. So this is a good year for you to consider letting go. It can be letting go of a certain relationship in your life itself that probably you've been hanging on for some time. Okay, so for Christina, this year itself is about releasing it out. Okay, so yeah.
所以意思話就冇留戀一啲嘢啦，反而係為自己咧去
打算
創造一啲新嘅嘢喺你嘅生命入邊。
Yeah, and then Christine Chong is like another person, right? Different person. 丙戌辛卯庚辰己卯. Okay, so 庚卯申辰. Okay, for this year itself, now Christine, just make sure that if there's, how old are you, Christine? Because this year is a good year if you are still at a learning curve. Means that if there's any possibilities for you to learn something new, learn something different, it will be good for you. So by learning it means that you can be thrown with new challenges, new things for you to cope up with. Take it first, because whatever that you open up yourself to learn this year, by next year you will see the potential of wealth greatly coming in. Okay, but you need to be willing to open up yourself to take up that opportunity to learn first. Okay，
意思話可能有啲嘢嚟你嘅前面嘅時候咧，有機會嘅時候咧，你先攞咗佢先。
Yeah. Okay, so whatever that you take up, whatever it is that has opening up for you a chance to learn something, take it up first. It can be when it comes to work. It can be some ideas that you have in order for you to learn something. Just go into it, learn it first. By next year, these things will eventually transform or exchange into some monetary gain. Means that you will see the results coming in next year.
OK， 譬如話好似一個你嘅老細同你講 ，OK， 我有一個 new project， 咁邊個要做？雖然你唔知道點樣做都好，你都講 OK 冇所謂，我攞咗先，之後先
figure out later. Okay, take it first, figure out later. Whatever opportunities that comes to you, grab hold onto it. Learn as much as possible. By next year, you will see the progress coming in. Okay. All right, so those are all the charts that we have. I know like some of you here still have a lot of charts. Now, I have to actually cut this session into 2 sessions because I've only focused on your personal focus of the year, okay, and your lessons, but I've not focused into your business and career goal for 2018, all right? Now, so next week itself on Tuesday, we will look into the second part. For those of you who have shared your chart, which is not like shared or not answered, okay, copy and paste it into next week's Facebook Live, and we will actually like answer you from there. Alright, so remember, okay, now whatever lessons that you need to learn this year, make sure that you have actually gone through it, learned it, or else if next year comes, right, okay, like the chances of you progressing into next year's energy is very low because you'll be stuck. You have not get yourself ready for whatever lessons that you need to learn for this particular year. And the more you get stuck over the years, every year you're not learning your lesson, you get stuck, right? That is when it will turn you into a robot. You will become like, you know, like emotionless, aimless, okay? You don't have clarity. You don't know what exactly that you want in life. So make sure that you have to relearn all these things, okay? Right? Like relearn them so that you can progress on together with the external energy that is actually changing yearly. Okay? So we have actually shared for this year, okay, on your personal lessons and your focus. So next week when we come back, we'll look into business and career growth. And yeah, if we have time, then we can actually look into personalized animal sign. Means now you have like share with me, okay, different animal sign, okay, like some of you have rabbit in your chart, have dog in your chart, have rooster in your chart. Overall, what are the lessons these animal signs are giving you in this year in 2018? So if we have time, we will look into that. All right, so other than that, of those of you, yeah.
She has an additional question. You want to answer that?
Oh, where?
She wants
Sorry,
to know
see,
if
the director actually helps you.
2019 good year for her or him to go into a business relationship, a business partnership.
Partnership, in fact, right? Okay, the initiation of the business partnership has already started this year. Okay, for win and win. Okay, because you are Wu Earth, so the business partnership should have actually like initiated this year. And when you want to actually start it, right, anytime now onwards you can consider, because the energy of 2019 officially in November has already progressed in. So if you want to actually get into a business partnership, you can actually get into it, right, this year or latest by next year. But remember, you have to make sure that this business partnership, you have to have a plan or a strategy of at least up to 3 years. It means that you have to ask yourself, whatever business partnership that you're getting yourself into, what is your business strategy for the upcoming 3 years? So if you don't have that and you expect for you to get into a business and yet you will see immediate return, in 2019, you won't see the immediate financial return. Okay, wealth-wise, it is not that. So unless that this strategy itself is something that you prolong, that you only see returns in 2020 or year 2021, then it will be a business that you can consider going into. All right. So, okay, so as I mentioned, so those of you who know that I have actually annual talk for Feng Shui and Astrology 2019, we have set the date on January 12th and 13th. If you are in KL, if you are available, do check it out on our Facebook or call in to my office, okay, and check for the ticket. So we have early birds promotion now. So if you are in town on that particular week, on the January 12th itself will be an English session, and January 13th, Sunday, will be a Cantonese session. It's in Wisma Bentley Music School. So if you are in town and available and you're interested to join, do check it out on our Facebook page or send us a message or contact our office.
啱啦，因為咧係非常之重要啦。我知道點樣去 embrace 我哋嘅2019咧，就係知道我哋會面對啲咩問題，同埋有啲咩解決嘅方法。
Yeah, but again, as I say, if you're not ready to find your clarity in 2018, if you are still blur and unsure of what you need to focus on, even 2019 comes in, you have backtrack. You have all these steps. They stuck you, guys. You can't really move forward so much, okay? So always work on what you need to work on first now. Get yourself ready. When 2019 comes in, promise you 2019 is going to be a terrific year. It's going to be so good. There's so much opportunity out there. So see you all again next week. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, remember to like the page and to turn the notification on. Okay, sometimes we will just pop up for Facebook Live out of nowhere. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.